Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another interview for the Art of Sherlock Holmes. Got a really special one today. It's an artist interview with Bobby Franano, and we're cutting live across to West Palm Beach. Bobby, what's the weather like?
Always sunny.
Fantastic. And
it's sunny, the birds out. It's absolutely stunning here.
Fantastic. And so tell us a little bit about your artistic influences.
My influences I started painting at a very, very young age, and my father always had collections of the work of Salvador Dali. So I grew up really using his art and opening my imagination, if you will. And I just was really in tune to him, studied his entire career. Not that I want to be him, I want to be my artist in my own right, but he was a huge influence on me. He was I would say, in fact, the Surrealist school as a whole was a major influence on me.
I must admit, when I looked through your art, I had a feeling that the Surrealists were influencing it. And why don't we dive straight into some of your pieces? I love this one. This one seems like super crazy.
It's a piece called Gibberish. It's freehand acrylic on canvas. And I literally started just looking at a blank canvas, and whatever came out of my mind, I applied to that piece. The piece in a total is about 60 by 70 inches. So I put it on a table, and I just let my imagination, there was no right, there's no wrong to it. It's just what I thought at that particular moment.
So I guess that this is one of those where the person looking at the painting sees things that you probably didn't even think were in it.
Exactly right. That's exactly what it is. It's just, it's really to the eye of the person that's looking at it as to where they could use their imagination or where their imagination could go. So it's just gibberish. It means nothing, hence the title.
I think that's one of the most wonderful things about art is that, especially if you get to experience it when people look at your art at a gallery opening or something like that, and they look at it and they say, "Oh, I see this," and you think, "Wow, yeah, never thought of that."
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. When I do gallery shows, oftentimes I'll stand behind the person with them not knowing that I'm the artist, and I like to listen to what they take out of my paintings. It's very interesting. And so oftentimes I've just stood very quietly behind people as they view my artwork, and it's just, I find it fascinating, like what they think as well.
Yeah, I think writers have a similar sort of thing. My first novel many years ago is coming up 20 years ago now. I wrote some it was a mystery thriller, and I put a lot of humor into it. And I remember talking to people at book signings, and they would tell me what parts they thought were really funny, and I just wouldn't get it because they were bits that I didn't necessarily think were funny. And then, and quite the reverse, the things which I wrote where I was literally, sitting there thinking I'd written the funniest thing that anybody had ever written, people just kind of go, meh, yeah, that's okay.
I like that. No, it's the truth though. But I mean, that's why we do it though, isn't it?
Absolutely. So let's jump into another piece here. This one's a bit more structured than the last one.
This one I call a beautiful train wreck. And what I was doing in my art back then is I would feature myself being the stick figure. So as you see in the far back right of the painting is me standing there and me having to listen to my heart a lot as I made decisions as I got older. The stick figure falling off the building might be depression that I felt. The stork flying over in the background with a safety pin was really my birth, myself watching myself through my time period on this earth. All the decisions that I made, the mistakes that I made is the train hitting the car.
So this is kind of almost
I really started painting stuff like that, I think when I switched from Tylenol PM to regular aspirin, a lot of these visions happen to me. I'm joking, of course, but anyway,
Well,
you buying during this period of time. So
well,
I
you
just
would.
wanted to show that.
You wouldn't have been the first artist to have been influenced by some form of drug, but I haven't heard
Exactly.
Tylenol before.
Tylenol PM has that effect on most people. So.
Absolutely. So this is much more autobiographical. This piece, then, is that a theme that runs through your work? Do you have a lot of autobiographical pieces?
A little bit, yes. It does a little bit. I think the formation, especially with swirl. Now, what I also done during this period of time is I conducted a song. I'm also a musician, the keyboard player in the band The Front and Baker's Paint. My brother's the lead singer. So I've been composing music most of my life. I've done music and art my entire life. Every day of my entire life, I literally did music and art since childhood. So in this piece, again, it's a collage of visionary. At the very bottom, that is Christine from Andrew Wyatt's Christina's World, where she's in the field and she's looking at the house. I took her out of that painting and put her where she's looking at all the insanity in my mind.
And
each image is from a different thing. The girl leaving, the time the girl might have been in love with, left me. So there are all sorts of different visions and different things that mean something to me or that came to mind. And Christine is looking at this as it swirls through my mind.
And this piece, I really love this one.
Thank you.
I like the kind of period nature of it. I don't know if that was intentional, but the character in the middle there, the lady with tilting her head, that kind of says, I can imagine her doing the Charleston or whatever. But
yes, exactly right. It's almost a period time, exactly, almost like the Sherlock Holmes piece. It's more of a period piece. The images are modern, if you will, so they all vary a little bit. I'd say the most modern would probably be the shoe or something like that.
And this one's quite, for me, this is quite a powerful piece.
Thank you.
Tell us what's behind this.
What this is, it's called Dangerous in Red. While the others travel throughout your soul, so is Dangerous in Red. So these people are leaving the boat and they're going back to a sanctuary. And to me, it's the thoughts, the inner voice that you have in your mind that talks to you. These people are part of those people that talk to you in your mind. You don't know if it's your soul. Sometimes when you're in depression, you might have an inner voice that talks to you. These people are related to that voice. They travel throughout your mind. Sometimes somebody might call them a guardian angel. So that's what they are to me. That's what I wanted to bring across in this painting.
Yeah, for me, this one was very different from the others because in the others, there's a lot going on. And in this one, it's kind of a singular message. And I think that was quite a surprise for me. So in the earlier pieces, there's a lot happening and you're looking at different things and you can come back to it lots of different times and see something different. But for me, this one, this is a bit haunting for me, actually.
Thank you. It's a bit cold, yes. I think I fight depression just like everybody else. I just recently had a lot going on in my personal life. So I find that painting releases that tension in me. It's very relaxing for me, and I do escape through my paintings. I go many places, and it's hard to explain to somebody that might not paint or whatever. I know it come across as a bit odd, but it's very relaxing to me to paint, and I do escape to my paintings. This is a perfect example of what where I go, if you will, Steve. This is where I go.
And this one, is there a political type message here in this one?
It's more of a religious has a religious undertone to it. This is the portrait of Sir Thomas Boyle, who has just enough water left to wash away his sins. The man that is walking up could be our inner self again, but as you see, there's a nude woman and a bottle of alcohol that he's going towards. And this is what maybe the last drop of water that we have that, you know, we ask for forgiveness all the time, whatever religion you are, it doesn't matter. It's your true belief, and it's your way of, this painting is like, you still have hope, if you will, from your sins. I think that's what I was trying to bring across in it.
And
you know, there's still enough love in the world, you know, to save it.
And what prompted you to pick Boyle as a character? Because
just his name, I wanted to make up a fictitious character from the 18th century.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Very English, if you will. And I just, you know, I sell antiques, and I deal with a lot of 17th, 18th, and 19th century paintings, a lot of them English and French. And it always has this beautiful, like, portrait of this man, you know, with, or women. And they're always dressed so elegantly. And I just, you know, it was my way of oh God, what's the word? It was my way of just kind of making them less innocent, if you will, how they were portrayed, to open a door of sin, to show that a lot of these people were very evil too. You know what I mean? They weren't just perfect. So
absolutely.
It was just kind of my interpretation of it.
Fantastic. And we should jump onto the subject of the Art of Sherlock Holmes. So for those watching, the Art of Sherlock Holmes is a fantastic project conceived and curated by the wonderful Phil Growick. So Phil is a two-time Sherlock Holmes novelist in his own right, and worked in the creative industry his whole career, mainly in New York, and ended up in West Palm Beach, and came up with this amazing idea to take Sherlock Holmes short stories and put them in the hands of artists. And we're showing a little glimpse, because we're trying to keep the mystery going, a little glimpse of your piece that you did for this, the first edition, this West Palm Beach edition, Bobby. And tell us a little bit of what the experience was like to be given a short story, a Holmes one, and to create something from that.
What it was like creating a piece. First of all, it was one of the best opportunities I've had in my world of art in the last several years, I would say. It was a very wonderful opportunity to do this, and I'm very blessed and very thankful that I had the opportunity. Using my imagination, kind of going back and visualizing the Sherlock Holmes book as a whole. The story I wrote was absolutely wonderful, and it was very well written. And just being able to use my imagination, I kind of put myself back into the 19th century, and I just let my mind wander as to what it had been like to live back then. The sights, the smells, if you will, being in that part of London. And I really just used my imagination and let it come across. The piece itself is oil on a piece of pure birch wood, and I love working on birch. It has no thread count like a canvas does, so I can get an extreme detail with brush, and I just love working on a flat surface like that. So it was a very magical experience for me.
Fantastic. And when you say birchwood, how thick is that?
It's about 1/4 of an inch thick, and it's on a 3-inch stretcher board. So I just literally put it flat on a table, and I worked on a downward motion on it. I looked down on the piece, and I did it in a very pop palette, very, very pop, like the cover of the Art of Sherlock Holmes, the cover. I wanted to incorporate that color palette into the piece.
Yeah, it's really vibrant. Absolutely love it, and I really like the fact that you've put Holmes kind of. I mean, you can tell from the sliver of the painting that we're showing here that you've put Holmes front and center, and it's obviously a very traditional looking Holmes, because of course this is a very traditional collection. But I think, you know, the traditional art fans out there that like Sherlockian art will really like this piece.
Very kind of you. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah. Obviously the author doesn't know. They may guess, because there are some elements from the story that you've put in there, but we've tried very hard with each of these interviews to try not to show the pieces. I think probably the toughest one we had was Bruce Heelander's piece, because he's a collage artist. So I think he incorporated about 27 things from the story. So it's quite hard for us to show the picture without actually showing 4 or 5 elements from the story. So
I've had the privilege of meeting him, and he's just an absolutely wonderful man. Absolutely wonderful, imaginative collage artist. Just a great man.
And super funny as well. I mean, I loved interviewing him. He was the preamble before we even went on camera. I think the interview itself was very funny, but for anybody watching the Heelander interview, he was super funny before the interview and after the interview as well. So in terms of the art is all going to come together in May. So on the 9th of May, we have the gallery opening and the launch. The gallery is the Anne Norton Sculpture Gardens, which is a beautiful building and a beautiful place for the art. We're really, really pleased that the art's going to be there. And it's going to run for a few weeks through to, will you be there on the 9th, Bobby?
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to be coming over the week after because I couldn't resist coming to see the art live. And then on the 25th of May, we're going to have everybody coming together worldwide using this Zoom technology, which is the video technology that we're using today, to bring people from all over the world. So we're going to be streaming that on Facebook Live, and the hub of that will be at Stepping Stone School, which is in the wonderful Undershaw building, which is where Sir Arthur Conan Doyle wrote Hand of the Baskervilles and brought Sherlock Holmes back to life. So it's going to be a fantastic evening on the 25th. The book itself is already up for pre-order on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all those kind of good things. And the project is just going completely crazy. We already are working on the USA version and the global version as well. So it looks like there will be many more versions coming. I think Phil has hit on something really rather special here.
Oh, it's a wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
And of course,
I can't wait for this book to come out. It's amazing.
Yeah, and of course, we do have the odd prototype. So I actually have one of the prototypes here. So it's a very large book. It's American foolscap size. So each of the pieces of art is featured in it. You could make it in terms of a hardback book. So it's been an absolute pleasure interviewing you today, Bobby, and I'm really looking forward to
I appreciate it.
Looking forward to meeting you in May and getting involved with the artists at West Palm.
Perfect. Absolutely. I can't wait to meet you.
Fantastic.